Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Sir, my screen is shared.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, AICTE now recently uploaded the document, particularly for examination reforms. But there is always an argument between many academicians and the output of this. But however, since AICTE is a regulatory authority, you can take the document. But mainly they talk about. Let me stop all the things. Okay, so if you go to AICTE examination reforms, then you can get the policy, examination reforms policy. Okay, so this reforms policy will give the what exact. Actually, it is really prepared in November 2018, and what are the detail and who are all the members of the committee, and all the things are there. In fact, NICCC members also there in the committee, right? So they have given some detail like how the PO mapping with the learning outcome need to be there, and how to improve the quality of assessment, right, with the revised Bloom's taxonomy, and assessing the hierarchy of the student. Okay, so all the things they have discussed. So as academician, you can just go through this examination reforms document, which is released by the AICTE, which we are going to discuss for next session. Actually, what they are telling us, they are telling that there are two components in the assessment, in the student assessment evaluation. One component is, one component is where exactly. One component is evaluation, the other component is assessment. So exactly, evaluation is judging the student, assessment is to helping the student. So in that perspective, they have given this document. So what are all the things they are included here? Particularly, they are talking about continuous assessment. So continuous assessment in the sense, normally you are conducting internal assessment 1, internal assessment 2 in the college, and how you can conduct the classroom activity, right? So that activity really help the teacher, as well as the student to improve their learning. Maybe fundamentally what they talk, their assessment is, it's a systematic one. It's a systematic one to collect the data from the student, and it's a continuous process. Second thing is it has to improve. So what they are telling is, assessment is to find whether the person achieved the outcome or not, if they, where exactly the student is lagging. Okay, that is what the main crux of the assessment is. Where exactly? See, I'm looking for a pen to write. Okay, taskbar. Log the task. So, what exactly the person knows or understand, okay, that way, and think. So, what they are learning, with that, what they can do. That is the first thing. Second thing is, normally you are collecting the data from the student. What way you are collecting the data from the student is, you are doing so many activities in the classroom. When you are doing so many activities in the classroom, each activity is called as an assessment. So, it is not that assessment means you are conducting some internal test, you are conducting some classroom test or a quiz or something. No, assessment means whatever the activity you do in the class. Maybe you are initiating the interaction, you are asking the student to do, solve the problem, or you are giving some activity to the student and you are moving around the class. So whatever the activity you are doing, or you are questioning the student, all the things are considering as activity. So these activities are considered as assessment, but every activity reveals some data. What data it will reveal? It will reveal the data whether a specific student or a group of students or a whole class, okay, they are having any issues in learning. Okay, so that way you are giving the feedback. So assessment is collecting the data and providing the feedback. It is not only collecting the data. So with the data, what you are doing, you are internally analyzing. By knowingly, unknowingly, you are analyzing the data and you are giving the feedback. The feedback is a constructive feedback to an individual or to a group or to the whole class. Okay, so it is not the one-time activity; it's a continuous activity. That is what they mentioned, that assessment is a continuous activity. It is to check whether what the person knows or understand or they can do with the content. Okay, so that way you are collecting the student information, I mean student data, and you are giving the constructive feedback to the students. That is what the concept of assessment. That again they are putting into the document, right? But there are different kind of assessment we have to follow, particularly when we go for the reforms. Actually, there are three kind of assessment. One kind of assessment is called assessment for learning. What exactly assessment for learning is? It's a formative assessment. Okay, actually, assessment for learning. Why I am using that assessment, right? Actually, assessment helping the teacher as well as it is helping the student, and it will helping to the administration. It will helping the teacher, student, administration. Yes. So helping the teacher, student, and administration. Now I think I'm getting the marker. Okay. Actually, without marker, as a teacher, academician, without marker, taking the class is very difficult. So constructive feedback. Already I told you constructive feedback. So the constructive feedback we are giving based on the systematic collection of data. Systematic collection of data. So systematic collection of data help us to provide the constructive feedback, and that feedback improve the students' learning in future. That is very much important. So the thing is how you are strengthening the student knowledge, right? Actually, what is happening in the classroom? In the classroom, if I just deliver the content, then what will happen? That further learning cannot happen. How you are initiating the instruction? Maybe most of the time we are very busy with covering the syllabus. So whether we are covering the content or the student is learning, covering the content with the proportional to learning component. Okay, so it is directly proportional. It is directly proportional. Or I covered the content, the student learning is only half. Okay, that I have to see. So when the learning happened, when there are a more number of activities, only one activity if I do, that is activities deliver the content, that will not impact more on learning. If I have a more number of activities, that more number of activities strengthen the chain, strengthen the student learning. That is what is called assessment for learning. Why? Because an individual student adjusts their learning capability. Because I have to understand that where I am good, where I am, need to improve. So I must understand. So that input I am getting from my own teacher, not generically the teacher is giving the feedback here. Okay, so that way assessment for learning will help the student to adjust their learning, and that will help them to improve in their future learning. Actually, in the classroom, right? In the classroom, how we have to ask the questions. Okay, how we have to ask the questions. So what exactly the pedagogy says, expert says, actually your classroom always divided as so many phases. So what are all the phases we see? Just we are entering into the class, we have one phase. Then I started to deliver my content. That is a phase. Maybe at the end, I just summarize the content, or maybe after taking the attendance, or before the attendance, we will just consolidate. Then end of the session, I wanted to give some information to the student, or I asked the student to do some work. So like there are different phases are there. So generally we say that there are 4 phases. One phase is called the introduction phase. Yes, participant, yes, please, for putting in the chat box. So you are saying that, okay, sir, yes, anything else you wanted to know, participant? Anything else you wanted to ask in the chat box? Anything else you wanted to ask in the chat box, please, you type it here. You type it here. Okay, fine. So there are different phases of the class. Okay, so each phase is 1 minute. I will, yes. Okay, fine. So there are different stages of the lesson in the normal everyday lesson, where normally we have an introduction phase. In the introduction phase, what we do, we are introducing the lesson. Okay, introducing the lesson. While I am introducing the lesson, what kind of a question I have to ask? I have to ask the inspiring question. Inspiring question in the sense, why I am learning the content. Okay, why I am learning the content. That question I have to answer. Right. So there are three questions generally in the education concern. One is learning question. The second one is instruction question. The third one is assessment question. The fourth one is alignment question. So what learning question is? What I am learning, why I am learning. If the student is able to understand the answer for the two questions, then that is called a learning question. Then instruction question is what instruction strategy support for the learning. For example, if you wanted to make the student to apply, when the student wanted to apply, then what kind of a delivery I have to do? Whether I can do the lecture with that the student able to apply. For example, you see in the earlier session, the previous session I had a session on penetration testing. Suppose I have a PPT that there are a different vulnerability, and I can say that there are a different way that vulnerability can do, testing can do. Like I am talking about vulnerability and the way of testing, how to filter the cat, all the thing. If I am giving a lecture, the next day when you are going to do the penetration testing, it's very, very difficult. So what is the instruction strategy so that learning happen? Actually, you have seen I have started my VM. So in the VM, I have created the VM called OWASP. Then what I did, I started the VM. Then I have shown that the Samba server and Postgres, so that both servers are on. Then that server is creating with an IP. Then I am opening my command. Then I am pinging that IP, whether my VM is able to connect it with my host machine or not. Because you are all aware of virtualization. So from the virtualization, actually I created the VM from my own machine, my host machine, connected with the VM or not. Then with the pinging, I will be able to apply, able to fetch it. Then I opened the browser in the host machine. From the host machine, I connected the Samba server, which is running on the virtual machine. Okay, so that server is running where there are different applications. So that I demonstrated to you. Since I demonstrated to you, so you are in a position to apply, or you are in a position to do the testing in future for other vulnerabilities also, right? So what is the instructional strategy which will support for the learning that you have to understand? What is the instruction strategy that you have to support for the learning in future, right? Then whatever the learning happened with that instruction strategy, whether that the content is assessed or not, that is the next very important question. Suppose assessment is not up to that level, then what is the meaning is you are not assessing the student properly, or assessment beyond the assessment is beyond your lecture, then the student will say that it's out of syllabus. So there are different things are there. So all the things, the learning question, then instruction question, then assessment, all need to be aligned. That is what is called aligned questions. That way, whether the student know why they are learning, what they are learning. That is the introduction phase. Always we say, okay. Unknowingly, we sometimes we started the session, the student do not know why I am learning. For example, you see, I am explaining binomial. Okay, binomial. I am explaining, but why the binomial? Or I am explaining what is called any kind of a math, because engineering mathematics is common, engineering. Fibonacci series, assume that Fibonacci series. So why I have to, what is the purpose of the Fibonacci series, right? What is the purpose of the Fibonacci series, whether I am giving or not, right? So many times what happened, we are talking about different series, factorial, Fibonacci series, binomial, Poisson distribution. So many things we are learning, but we do not know what is the relationship between the content and the context. Okay. For example, Fibonacci series, if you take any tree, which, if you take a plant, right, and there is a leaf, where is the next leaf will go? So if the next leaf again here, okay, next leaf again here, then the sunlight only fall on this leaf only. So automatically there is no sunlight for this leaf. So the leaf will fall down soon. So if the leaf is coming up over and above exactly the same angle of the previous leaf, then in the tree always the top two leaves are there, there is no more leaf. But how it really it is happening? Maybe if you see any YouTube, actually there are many YouTube videos are there for many content. Maybe I will check Fibonacci plant leaf. Okay, plant leaves. Okay, so if you see the nature.com, actually this is the Fibonacci series. This is the Fibonacci series. Okay, then what is called in the satellite, how the rotation of all the planets, again it's the Fibonacci. The total satellite completely, the planet rotation, everything, the space is completely with the Fibonacci series. So if you take that, the Fibonacci series by nature, how the plant is, this is the what is called how the plant having the degree. Actually, if you take, it will take one, how, see, one is here, plant one, leaf 1, leaf 2, leaf 3, leaf 4, leaf 5, leaf 6, like it is coming with the degree, 130-degree angle, every next leaf is coming. So it is coming with the 130-degree angle. Why? Because then only the next leaf will give the sunlight. So how it is really happening? And that is the only that Fibonacci series, we are bringing, that mathematical relationship we are bringing. Such a way, how the relationship between the content and the concept, what we are learning, whether we are establishing or not, all we have to do in the introduction phase. Then when we go to the second phase, probing questions, leading questions we have to ask. A probing question in the sense, sometime what happened, I will ask one question, then from that question I will take another question. Like I wanted to make all the students to participate in my class. Sometime I will ask very generic question, then everyone will concentrate. Then I will bring the question down. Then they would like to know the concept. What is the answer for that? Then I will tell the answer that will put in the student mind. Or sometime what happened, I will make one question, then the student may not answer. Then I will go to very general. So I wanted to make all the students to participate. This is a funneling, reverse funneling. Or I can have a forward funneling, like all the students will concentrate, asking, answer the question. Then I am coming to the few. Okay, then I can put the question where I can answer for the question that we are going to discuss. So that way, that I am going to discuss now. Like I am introducing my session, or I am doing some content, or next class that content we are going to discuss. Such kind of a question we will ask. Most of the time, we will ask the question, are you able to follow? Even I ask the question in the classroom, whether you will be able to follow. Student, do you have any doubt? But in the online learning, that is what most of the time it is possible. But sometimes you can unmute and you can tell that, sir, I am not able to understand this. So such kind of a thing. So when it is happening, when I am asking the closed-ended question, sometimes I am looking the open-ended question. What exactly? Tell me, the SQL injection is. What is the cross-site scripting is? What is the difference between persistent and non-persistent scripting XSS attack? Like I am asking the open-ended question where I am expecting the answer from you. Then sometime I am giving the context-oriented question where we learn the content. I wanted to ask the student to do where the content can be applied. Okay, such kind of a context-oriented questions also I can ask. But totally the questioning skill is the art. Okay, so the teacher must be strong in the content, and it is the art. It is not the technical component. It is the arts component. Okay, it's the art component. So that way there are different kind of question we can ask, and a different way we can ask that one. That is what is called assessment for learning. So all these questioning, all the types of questioning, all the way of asking the questioning, everything we are doing through the in the formative assessment. But the summative assessment and the end evaluation is also very much important. The end evaluation is also very much important, where we talks about grading the student. Where we talks about how to grade the student. Grading the student is, whether it is A star or nowadays we are giving the mark. That is again very much important. But here, once I got the grade, there is no further improvement on the subject. Why formative assessment or assessment for learning so powerful is, so in the formative assessment, the teacher delivers the content, the teacher is setting the question or doing some activity, the student participating in it, and the same teacher observing that activity and giving the feedback. Okay, this is what all the connectivity is there. But in this assessment, someone is setting the question paper, someone is assessing the answer script, and the students are writing. Here, the teacher is not connected here. So even once they got the mark, there is no feedback from the question paper center. There is no feedback from the answer script evaluator. So there is no connectivity, direct connectivity among the people. So that is the reason this is more powerful. This will help the student to improve in their learning. This is to just grade the student and to certify the student. It's a summative assessment that is called assessment of learning. It's assessment of learning, right? The last one is assessment as learning. Assessment as learning is which will nothing but how the individual is doing the independent learning. How the individual is doing the independent learning. So independent learning is self-learning. Normally, this is very much important for a graduate. Right? Normally in our classroom, that independent learning is very much important. You see, when you are conducting the class, okay, suppose there is a course, and the student join the course, and the student learning the concepts, their ability up to this level. Then the student graduated. This is the ability. This is the time. Okay, this is the time, this is the ability. See, over the period, the student is doing the job in the same domain, then the ability is keep on increasing. So this ability is keep on increasing over the time because of the independent learning. The ability is not increasing, it is decreasing, means the student is not doing the job in the same domain. So you see, when the ability is keep on increasing, suppose the ability is not increasing, it is as a flat, okay, then the student is not having the independent learning. The ability is increasing, the student is having the independent learning, or I can say not a student, graduate, the graduate is. So how an individual is developing their independent learning, that is very much needed for improve their achievement in future. So achievement of the ability, higher order ability, maybe up to the college level, they are having the apply ability. Maybe at the time of creativity or innovability, some ability they will create over the period. So that ability improvement based on independent learning. So there are three kind of assessment. One is called assessment for learning. Then second one is assessment of learning. Then the third one is assessment as learning. That is a formative assessment, summative assessment. Then I can have assessment for what is called assessment as learning for their independent learning. Like these are all the different kind of assessment we have to follow that reform says. So what reform says, we have to go with the continuous assessment and we have to give more thrust on the formative assessment, right? So what exactly assessment you are all aware. Now I would like to say what to evaluate. What to evaluate. When I say what to evaluate, we have to evaluate the cognitive, behavior, and the skill. That is cognitive domain, affective domain, psychomotor domain. Three domains we have. So what exactly meaning of that? You take a PO. Maybe participant, you are all aware of program outcome, right? Can you type in the chat box? Do you know program outcome? What is the first program outcome? Maybe in your domain, can you type your first program outcome? Short word. Program outcome, are you aware of it? Program outcome. No one is responding. Participant, are you there? Are you there? Okay, what is the program outcome? Yeah, engineering knowledge. Very nice, very nice. So engineering knowledge is the first program outcome. So once you see the engineering knowledge where the cognitive ability is very high. Okay, cognitive ability is very high. And there is attitude very, little bit, and the skill also. But once you go to the program outcome 3 or 4, what is the third or fourth program outcome? It will talk about more on use. Okay, use of modern technology. Okay, use of modern technology. So once you go for use of modern technology, right, then there the skill is more modern equipments, cognitive is little bit less, and attitude also comparative skill is a bit less. What is the meaning is, what I wanted to convey here, each PO, the combination of all three, but not exactly the same percentage. Maybe at one PO, 70% of cognitive, 25% of affective, 5% of skill. In the another, PO, 60% of skill, 30% of cognitive. I mean, cognitive is the skill is empowered by the cognitive one. The skill is empowered by cognitive only, but how really the person is more handful. Okay, suppose I would like to deliver a lecture how to swim. So only the cognitive alone not possible. Okay, so the person has to practice. So practice, the skill is very much important. Then attitude. Okay, that affecting. So like each PO has this combination. So that is what the graduate attribute. You are all aware of GA, graduate attribute. So graduate attribute, each graduate should have some attribute. So that attribute is nothing but some of the things on the cognitive, some of the things are percentage of behavior, some of the percentage on the skill. That we have to evaluate. Whether that is achieved or not, that we have to evaluate. Right? What that exactly that reforms, examination reforms, ACT examination reform says. Participant, can you come across this one? Maybe if you visit this page, right? If you go there, yeah, they are giving this connecting the PO to assessment, So what they are saying that they are considering the program outcome one. Okay, program outcome one. Okay, engineering knowledge, what you said, and how it is connected to performance indicator. Actually, they said that some word CAE and SEE, continuous internal examination and the semester end examination. Okay, continuous internal examination, right? This is a semester end examination. Okay, so that is what. So each program outcome, they said that there are some listed competency. So for that competency, what are the performance indicators? What the student they have to do so that the student able to achieve the competency, ultimately they are achieving the PO. Okay, that is what fundamentally they wanted to do here. So if you go with, for example, PO1, that is engineering knowledge, as Madam told you, So there, engineering knowledge is apply the knowledge of mathematics, science, engineering fundamentals, and an engineering specialization for the solution of complex engineering problem. That is what the PO1. So the PO1 is having the 4 competency, but demonstrate the competency in mathematical modeling, demonstrating the competency in basic sciences, demonstrate the competency in engineering fundamental, demonstrate the competency in specialized knowledge of engineering program. Suppose a CSE person, they have to specialize in the CSE. Mechanical person, they have to apply the mechanical engineering. So they should be a specific domain knowledge, and they should have a engineering fundamental. Okay, though I am a computer science discipline person, I must have some idea about electronics, electrical. Maybe, for example, I have a computer. I would like to know what is the required voltage for my computer. The server is the processor is how many watts the processor is required. So I must aware of what is the voltage level. Suppose I have SMPS, how the SMPS is working there. Okay, that motor, what motor is there in the SMPS. Okay, so step down motor or step up motor. What voltage is coming and SMPS is reducing the things or not. So that fundamental I must need, So that engineering fundamental will talk about demonstrate competency in engineering fundamental. And always there is a science. See, our engineering is application of science, that you are all aware. The engineering is application of science. So how really the basic science, the students is strong in the science. Then how mathematics and the science together working on it. So that is the PO1. So the PO1, what they said that the student able to apply, okay, able to apply and able to apply, all application. So they are in a position to apply their concepts into the context, apply their concepts to the context. That is what PO1 says. So each PO has some list of competency, So for the list of competency, they have explained the performance indicator. So what is the performance indicator? They are giving a problem, right? For example, as a teacher, I am giving a problem to the students. So that problem may be the competency 2, which reveal the competency 2, and ultimately that will reveal the PO1. Okay. Then another problem I am giving to my student in the unit 2 that will reveal the competency 1, and that will reveal the program outcome. Then another concept I am delivering and I ask the student to explain, then that will reveal competency 3, and that will ultimately reveal the program outcome. Such a way they listed what are the performance indicator and what are the competency they have to do that one. So there they will explain about each engineering knowledge. In the examination reforms policy, they are explaining about each engineering knowledge. Each PO, PO1, then problem analysis. What are the competency? What are the performance indicators? You see, in the problem analysis, they talks about articulate the problem statement, reframe the complex problem, identify and assess, assemble and evaluate information and resources, identify existing process, compare and contrast between the things. So like, you see, there are four competency in the PO2. In the PO3, they put the 4 competency, all the competency in the level of demonstrate. Whenever the level of demonstrate, then you are expecting that application ability. Then in the competency 4, there are, in the PO4, there are 3, what is called the competency they are explaining, but that 3 competency, each one has its one, 4, 2, then 4. Again here demonstrate. Then modern tool usage completely again to apply. Ultimately they will try to use 3. Right. So the engineering and society, that is the what is called more on affective domain, and the environment and sustainability more on affective domain, which will be there are 2 competency here. There are 2 competency. PO8 there are 2 competency. PO9 3 competency. PO10 there are 3 competency. PO11 3 competency. PO12 there's a 3 competency. So totally there are 12 PO. There are totally 12 PO for our engineering bachelor degree and for bachelor program. For each PO, they have identified the set of competency. For each competency, there are a set of what is called the program indicators, and they have established the mapping between the program outcome to the competency, that competency to the indicators. Okay, so that is what they have given. Okay, so just I brought it from the AICT. Fine. So participant, will be able to refer it. Is it clear to you? Maybe you can refer the document. Okay, you can refer the document. I will give you the link here. So the reforms policy, you can take actindia.org, where they can have a sites where they put the files, the examination reforms. For example, okay, so this is what LDAP injection. If I wanted to, so files, I wanted to see whether the directory access is available or not. Since you see there is no directory access available, so I will not be able to see all the files. Okay, so that is what even we can do. Fine. Participant, get the content, the basic content of the concepts, connectivity between the PO2 indicators. Do you have any doubt on this? If you have any doubt, then I will clarify that. Participant, is it clear to you? Yes, anyone can respond. Yes. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now, thing is, whenever you are going to set the question paper in your test or whatever it may be, then you must be in a position to ask the question from the indicators. Okay, so you have to prepare the question from the indicators, and you can understand that which outcome is achieved, which outcome and which level it is achieved. That see, outcome achievement we have to check. Learning outcome achievement we have to check. So that relationship they brought it. But actually, the competency is it is not the appropriate word whenever we talk about higher level learning. But however, whether they are having the skill or not, that is what they have established. Okay. So whenever you wanted to what is called achieve the or you wanted to verify the achievement of the outcome, right? So how I have to verify? Actually, there are two kind of assessment we have to follow. One kind of assessment is direct method of assessment. The another kind of assessment is indirect method of assessment. What exactly the direct method of assessment says? So direct method of assessment says what learning is. Indirect method of assessment says what learning experiences or engagement. Okay. Whenever you do learning, there are two components are very much important. One is called learning. The second one is called learning engagement. Okay. Participant, can you tell me what exactly learning is? Or okay, let me explain. Then we will have some. Okay. So learning and learning engagement is very much important. Learning is assessed by direct assessment. Learning engagement is assessed by the indirect assessment. Whenever you are conducting the test, whenever you are giving a homework, whenever you are giving the assignment to the test, assignment to the students, assignment, whenever you are conducting some quizzes, whenever you are asking the questions in the classroom, these are all, or the teacher, or you are a thesis examiner, PhD thesis or MTech thesis, right? Whenever you do this kind of activity, then those assessments are coming under the category of direct assessment. Whenever you wanted to get the when you wanted to get the experience, what you will do? Your participant, can you type into the chat box? When you wanted to know the experience of an individual, okay, so what way? Normally, suppose, do you have any experience of giving your activity experience or any activity or any travel or purchase from online? How you give your experience? How you give your experience? I hope the question is clear to you. Question is clear to you? Yes. Participant, how you share your experience to the third party? Narrating a story, good. Then as you are asking about the review or yes, absolutely, yes. So actually, the review or feedback is what? Review or feedback is what? So Megabook Madam is rating, yeah. So Megabook Madam, Shubha Hari Madam is asking that, are you asking about the review or feedback? What exactly the meaning? That is why I didn't put the exact word. So review, suppose someone wanted to ask the review or feedback, what is exactly the meaning is? That is called a survey. That is what is called, whether you are giving a rating or whatever it may be, it is called survey. Am I right? Is it a survey or not? Is it a survey or not? It is exactly a survey. Whenever, if you are going travel from airport to your house through Ola, or you are purchasing something, or you are ordered something from online, right? At the end, even if you are paying the bill nowadays, what happening? How your experience in paying the bill? Like they are getting the survey. So what exactly the survey is? How your experience on the particular activity they are expecting, or what is the experience of the particular activity. So always, whenever you wanted to share any experience, then you are doing the survey. That is nothing but indirect assessment. That is nothing but indirect. So learning engagement can be assessed by the indirect assessment. Learning content, learning activity, or learning whatever the learning component, that will be explained or that can be assessed through the direct assessment. So what are the different methods of direct assessment? So you can have a course embedded, then standardized, then portfolio, case study, class project, capstone, internship evaluation, thesis, then project report evaluation. So these are all different kind of assessment which is coming under the category of direct. For example, in the course embedded, you are doing a lot of things. In fact, predominantly we are using this tool. Predominantly we are using the course embedded assessment and the what is called standardized testing. So in your college, you are conducting the standardized test. That is internal assessment 1, internal assessment 2, like you are doing the standardized test. Then course embedded assessment, like you are doing like what is called every day or weekly once, or monthly once you are conducting a classroom test, or weekly once. But most of the time you are asking the questions in the classroom. Okay. Sometimes you are giving the homework to the students. So homework means nothing, but you are giving some assignment. You are giving some activity. But that activity, how I am going to give, that itself again, we have to think. But those things, you cannot express from the reforms. Those things are we have to do. Okay, that assignment, how to give all the things. That what the reform says, that we have to make the student engaged in our activity by conducting so many classroom assessment, course embedded assessment, and standardized test. So that way, how I am going to get the true score? Actually, every student, they are having the true score. Okay. True score. Then I am observing the score. Yes. See, I am conducting some test. Okay, or I am asking some question, whether the student know or not. So whether suppose the student is having the knowledge and the student is telling the correct answer, then that shows that the true knowledge. I observed that. Okay, that is called the score, I say. So observe score. Suppose my now Meduba madam, she asked the question. Yes. Are you asking about the review or feedback? Why is she asking this question? Why she is, madam, why you are asking that question? Can you type again? Why you ask that question? Because she unable to understand what exactly the question is. Am I right, madam? Am I right? Actually, that is the reason she is asking, are you asking about the review or the feedback? But I don't want to put the word exactly review or feedback. So many words I put together and I ask the question. But she, to the point, she is asking whether are you asking about the review and feedback. So assume that, suppose I am asking the question itself is having the error. The question itself is having the error. The error is also go along with the score. By the time, the observed score will not be the true score. Okay. The error is also there. Suppose the error is negligible, then ultimately I can take the true score as observed score. Suppose the error is not negligible, right? Then that the true score is not really, I mean, whatever the score I observed, it is not the real true score. So that way I can understand. So course, whenever you wanted to conduct the course embedded test or standardized test, how your questions, whenever you are giving assignment, how you have to prepare the questions, that you have to be very clear. Okay, you have to be very clear. Then once you go for the indirect assessment, then indirect assessment where it talks about more on what is called the survey, more on survey, but this will be the evidence, or this can be complement for the direct assessment. See, I cannot say that there are two different directions. No, it is not two different directions. Assessment, I can say direct and indirect, but the direct is the direct value I am getting. Indirect is I am getting the experience. So both are complementing each other on individual learning. So nowadays you see, maybe you can talk about what is called the leading institutions of the world. Okay, leading institution of the world. Okay, so there are a lot of leading institutions in the world. See, why that institution is so popular? Why the institution is so popular? Why the institution is so popular? Maybe anybody can you type? There are many institutions that professors, the institution is very popular because of what? Because of what? Because of what? Yes, please. Participant, can you? Anybody? Maybe can I play one video? But yes, will you able to understand the question? Many leading institutions, maybe you talk about any institution, top most institutions of our country, as well as the foreign Western countries or any country, international institution. So they are very popular one, to what? Maybe I can give one examples also. One example also I can give. Yes, do you have any idea? Yes, participant, can you type? good infrastructure. Okay, Irania Pandian, yes sir, yes, wonderful. Then what else? Then what else, please? Placement, good infra, good coaching. Okay, so it's everything because of the faculty member, how they are giving the content along with the learning engagement, Maybe I will. I do not know whether the video is available. What video I will play here? Video. YouTube. Simple. Yeah, one more answer I got it in the chat box. Ranking good infrastructure. How the ranking? Okay, I have a good infrastructure, but how I'm going to utilize? So here, any learning institution is popular because of the faculty members, and the faculty member, how they are giving the content as well as the learning engagement. That will be a more, the crucial component of any popularity. Okay, so now you can just see the video.
Today we're going to talk about.
See, he's almost 70, 65 years old man. Yes,
one of his key topics.
Accreditation and affiliation. No, these are all happening because of what? See, you are all having the high, institution is having the high accreditation, affiliation, ranking, good, all the things. How it is coming because of the faculty members. Faculty members is pillar of the institution. So how the faculty members provided the learning, that content as well as the engagement. You just see, he's explaining the simple harmonic motion. Maybe I will ask you a question. One question to you, whether I have a notepad. Okay, right. Maybe I will take the slide, this slide, last slide, which slide we have practiced. Right, this is a slide. A participant can answer for my question. Right. This is the point. Okay, this is the point. There is a 1 meter rope, 1 meter rope. 1 meter rope. Then this is the iron ball. Iron ball is, the weight of the ball is 10 kg. 10 kg. Okay. Then I am lifting the ball to 30 degree. To 30 degree. Then I leave the ball. Then ball will go like this and it will come. Okay. So assume that this is the time T1. Then the same point, the 1 meter, okay, the 10 kg ball, okay, but the angle is 60 degree lifting. Then it is going here and coming back, okay, here and coming back. So T2. Then the third is, point is here, same 1 meter. Okay. Now it is a 50 kg. 50 kg ball. Ball size is different. Right? I am turning at 30 degree. Okay, 30 degree. Angle is 30 degree. The fourth case is, again there is a point, 50 kg ball. Okay, 1 meter length, then lifting to 60 degree. Okay, then it's going here and there. Okay, so this is T3. This is T4. What's the relationship between T1, T2, T3, T4? So my question is, what is the relationship among T1, T2, T3, T4? Maybe in your house you have a swing. Okay, most of you nowadays all they are having the bamboo stick. Okay, using the bamboo stick you can have a swing. So many people you have a swing at your home. You put your kid and young kids are there. Then you put the kid and you are swing. I mean pull the swing and you leave it. The young kids will go there, come back. And sometimes you also sit in the swing and you can just going and coming. So such a way, such a very simple example. Okay. So now you see. In your house the swing is always the length, you will not vary the length. So here I'm making that all 1 meter. Then I wanted to have a 30 degree lift at a 10 kg 60 degree lift. Then 50 kg, I can put this 30-degree lift, 60-degree lift. Therefore, timing, I read it. Then I wanted to see the difference of T1, T2, T3, T4. What is the difference? Or what is the relationship? Okay. Participant, can you tell me now? Yes, please. No one is. Maybe you can unmute. I unmute your camera, enable your camera, and you can type it so that I can understand that who are all there. Sometimes that online learning, many people they log in and they may they will move away. Went out. Then we do not know whether they are listening or not. Sometimes when we put some online activity like a call, parallel, or something, we can understand. Now, participant will be able to understand what is the question is. My question is, what is the relationship among the four? My question is, what is the relationship among the four? No one is there. Actually, Satish Kumar sir, Hiranya Pandian sir, Megabu Pushpani, Subhagani madam, CV. Okay, all are here. Participant, I'm asking the question to you. What's the relationship among the four? T1, T2, T3, T4. You just give your observation. See, it need not be right always. See, though never we are expecting that gravity. No. Just I am asking that relationship among T1. Whether T1 greater than T2 or T2 greater than T3. That's the question I am asking you. So what way the T1, T2 vary? Because the time, this is a time. T1, T2, T3, T4 are timing. For oscillation. Maybe assume that this is a 10 oscillation I go. Here also I am doing 10 oscillation. Here also I am doing 10 oscillation. Here also I am doing 20. All are 10 or 20 oscillations. Same number of oscillations. So once I do same number of oscillations here, then what is the timing between? I mean, there is a difference or same or less than. Now that is a Charles Bravo. Wonderful, sir. That is what that relationship only I am expecting from you. So T1 less than T2 less than T3 less than T4. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful, Charles Bob, sir. That is what I am expecting to do. Now I think you can understand from that one answer. So from the Charles Babu sir, you can get the relationship, right? So Srivi, Mehboob, I will see that who are all the participants joining in the class. There are many people. Sita, Saran, co-host Abhirami, Ajay, then Alangaram, Selvaraj, then Anandan, Arivarasan, Arun Kaidan, Arun Kumar, Chandrakala, Charles Prabhu sir, he has given the answer. Very nice. Then Dr. N. Padmavati, Dr. B. Balaji Vijayan, Dr. Chembian, then Dr. Gayatri, then Hiranya Pandian, K.E. Anandi. There are many people. Sudha, I think Sudha madam is keep on, and Kartika madam, Lada, Saktivel, Tilagarani. Many people are there. Kindly, see that whether what is the relationship among three. Yes, please, fast. Because I am sometimes what is called, I am pouring like anything content, but nothing happens with the other end. Very difficult to have. Okay. Yes, please. Yes, please. Mehboob, madam. Then Sundarraju sir, Satish Kumar sir, Hiranya Pandian sir. Yes. Sudha madam, you just give your observation. See, it need not be. Time ratio may vary based on the weight. See here the weight is, that is the way. Time ratio may vary, very good. Okay, time ratio may vary based on the weight. Okay, fine. Very good. So if your kid is sitting in the swing and you are sitting in the swing, then there is a change in the timing. That is what Sudha madam wanted to tell. Am I right, madam? So when you sit in the swing and your kid is sitting, maybe young kid is. Yes, exactly. Anything, anybody, anyone, and also based on the angle. Okay, so what angle? Okay, so angle again, based on the angle and weight. That is what I wanted to know. So based on the angle and weight, there is a time will vary. Then based on the angle and weight, based on the angle alone, and all all together that vary. But now you see the engagement, how really play a major role in. Already I told you, the engagement is very much important. You just see this. Maybe I'm not going to play the entire video. Hope the video is visible to you.
Please. And I want to show you now that the effect on the angle, if you go from 5 to 10, is small. So
actually, he is taking some weight. So he is taking some weight. Actually, the weight is 15.5 kg he is taking, and the ball is hanging at a point. Then he is taking some angle. Theta is something.
I will let it swing one oscillation. When it comes to a halt here, I will start to time a bit. I count and me. Let's come to counting. Ready? You ready? You're sure? I'm ready too.
So you see here, in the Hooke's law, he is telling.
Okay.
So physics professor Walter is explaining this.
You're completely responsible for the counting. So you only have to tell me is when 8 or 9 is coming up. That's all I want to know. Don't even bother me with 3. Don't even bother me with 4. Just let me know when I have to get in position for the final kill. Notice there's almost no damping on this pendulum. The amplitude remains almost the same. Whereas with the air track, you could actually see that there was already some kind of friction. Where are we now? 9? 9, right?
Actually, what he did, he is taking a particular weight, 15.5 kg of ball, something with that ball, and he is taking 10 theta as an angle, and he calculated through a mathematical equation, and he found that some value, and he wanted to verify when he do the same in the practically, then practically also whether he is getting the same value or not, that he is verifying, and he got 45.7. Since there is a air surrounding that, okay, air weight is there, I mean air and all the things are always, some frictions are there, and there is a plus or minus 0.1 is possible, okay. So he put to 45.7 seconds.
45.70. 45.7.
So 5 degree, he took a 5 degree angle, then 10 times he is at 10 times that happening, okay, that swing is pulling 10 times, and a 0.1 second plus or minus why we give, because of where we are doing in the open environment, okay. So he got the value 45.57 because of the angle is 5 degree.
What was my prediction?
So mathematically he got for a single motion, he took 4.57. Okay, for the single motion he took 4.57 mathematically. So here exactly he got for 45.7. Okay, let us see further.
Yeah, exactly. You get the picture. That is pure luck. Because
so he said it's a pure luck, though in the open environment it's a pure luck. Now he is increasing the angle.
And I want to show you now that the effect on the angle, if you go from 5 to 10, is small. So small that you cannot measure it within the accuracy of your measurement. Yeah. Okay. Again, relax and count. You're wrecking. Where are we now? 7.
So now again 10, you see here, he is taking that. So angle is different. So though angle is different, actually it can go to 45.8 as well as again it will go to 45.6 because plus or minus 0.1. But again, though I am changing the angle, he is changing the angle, again he is getting the exact value.
Did you expect anything else? 45.75. One of the most remarkable things I just mentioned to you is that the period of the oscillations is independent of the mass.
See, here again, 45.6. So you see, he put a ball with a different angle. Then he himself, took the rope and there is no specific angle with some weight. He is swinging between here and there. But finally, again, he got that 45.6. So what we could understand from this, we would understand that whether the angle or the weight, these are all not making a difference among the T1, T2, T3. Actually, what is the formula? Time T is equal to square root of L by G is the formula. Okay, that is what. But the illusion says that that definitely will be different. Okay, so here L is nothing but the length of the rope and G is the gravity. Always the gravity is the same. If I change the length of the rope, then only the value will change, time value will change. Otherwise, it will not change. So how it is happening? This is purely on engagement. Learning engagement here. See, I think hereafter no one will forget about this kind of a Hooke's law or the simple harmonic motion. So this is what, yes. Yeah, so T1 equal to T2 is equal to T3 ultimately. Yeah, all are same, because here I put all are 1 meter only, So what is the meaning is, learning engagement is very much important. Learning engagement is assessed by the indirect assessment. So that is what make the individual to learn the component, and they become innovative and they become critic and creative. Okay, so their ability will be developed among the very higher order if they are having the learning engagement. So learning engagement can be assessed through indirect assessment. Okay, that is what is called through survey or through only. I mean, mostly it's from the survey. Mostly it's from the surveys only, or exit interview or external reviewer. So these are all the methods we used for assessing the indirect assessment, and the methods we used for direct assessment is course embedded, standardized test, or portfolio assessment, case study, class project, capstone project, internship, or thesis, project report, evaluation. Right? So these are all the way. Now I wanted to prepare the assessment plan. Before going to the assessment plan, I would like to have only, maybe we can have one activity, right? You can also participate. Structure. 1 minute. I will put on activity. You can participate that activity. One Kahoot activity we can have. Okay, maybe. So now I will share the screen. So participant, what you can do now is, you can go to kahoot.it. You can go to kahoot.it. Then you can type this PIN number and enter your name. Go to the open the browser. Open the browser. Go to kahoot.it. Go to the browser. Type kahoot.it. Then enter the PIN number. Once you enter the PIN number, then you will be joined into this game. Then you will be joined into this game. No one is joining. Go to your browser. Go to your browser. Am I audible? Yes. Go to your browser. Type kahoot.it. Yes. Type kahoot.it. Yes. Charles Prabhu joined. Wonderful. Yeah. Now everyone is joining. Yes. Only 4 people. Almost how many participants are here? Totally 54 participants are here. Totally 54 participants are here. Okay. So I'm expecting at least 20 participants, 50. At least 50. I expect 50. But only 4. Maybe all others, please join. Go to kahoot.it. Go to kahoot.it and you can type. Now everyone is joining. Okay, kahoot.it and type this PIN number and enter your name. Enter your name. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes. Everyone is joining now. Almost I got 8 players. Okay, from the 54, 8 only. Oh, most of you are in the mobile phone, or I do not know whether you are attending or not. I think many people they are interacting. I do not know, they have some difficulty in joining. Many people they are attending and they have some difficulty. Or you have some difficulty in joining. You put it in the chat box. Let me check. Do you have any difficulty? Yes, joining. Oh, some of you are mobile phone. Okay. Then others, whoever having the system, please join. Only 9 people. Very less. Sudha madam, yes, you are joining. Yes, please. Join. But only 9 participants are there. Only 9 participants. Not able to join, sir. No, just you put open the browser. Type kahoot.it. Okay. Open the browser in your computer. Type kahoot.it. Then enter this number. Game pin is this one. Okay. Game pin is this one. 4047613. Then it will ask the name. Abhirami madam, can you try now? Yeah, Sudha madam joined. Yes, very nice. Maybe due to your network delay, it is taking some time. Okay, it's an activity. Okay, fine. So you try to join. I will start that activity. So actually, what you have to understand is, see, there is a question and 4 options. You can see the options here and you can do the answer. Assessment is the question. So 4 options. You have the options at your screen. Systematic collection of data and provide the constructive feedback. Collection of data from the students. Grading the results. Providing only the feedback to the students. Okay, so this is what the 4 options red. Whether if your answer is red, then click the red button. Answer is blue. Collection of. So this screen, you can see my screen and you can answer there. And you can answer there. Okay. So take the question and you can answer there. Yes, there are 11 participants, but I got only 5 answers. Okay, so almost 10 participants selected this answer, I mean correct answer, and 1-1. Let me go to the next question. Actually, before going to the next question, we will see who are all got Abhirami madam in the top, then Sudha madam, Charles Prabhu. So how fast you are answering, how correctly you are answering, right? Actually, not open, sir. Priya madam is having the issue raised, but joined, sir, but not opening the question, sir. You have to see the question in my screen. Yes, please. I think Abhirami madam got score, right? Fine, very nice. Okay, next. The focus of an assessment. The focus of an assessment. You see, now you can get it. Content standard, performance standard, learning skill, all the above. Green is all the above. Blue is learning skill. Red is content standard. Yellow is performance standard. Yeah, almost all answered. 9 participants and 10 participants answered. Yes, all the above. Most of them gave a correct answer. Let me check. Yeah, Abhirami madam went down, but others came up. Next question. Okay, third question. Assessment is in the form of. Assessment is in this form of. Is an activity or conducting a test only by questioning, provide the test results to the students. Already, see, whatever now we are seeing is everything already I have discussed with you. Whatever I had the question already I discussed with you. That is, assessment is an activity or a conduct a test only by questioning, providing the test results. Wonderful. Many people gave a right answer. So it shows that you are all listened to my session very nicely. Fine. So next thing is, fourth question is assessment as learning. Okay, assessment. We have discussed about assessment for learning, assessment as learning, assessment of learning. Okay, assessment as learning is what? Assessment as learning. We discussed about for learning, of learning, as learning. Discussed about for learning, of learning, as learning. Okay, now actually I reduced the timing. Almost 7 answer. So most of them actually self-assessment, peer assessment is assessment as learning. Yes, assessment as learning. Next, yes, yeah. Actually, there is up and down among the participants. An effective assessment should allow students to show what they know, understand, they can do, provide opportunity to celebrate and support the learning, trick the student to get the questions wrong, let the student what they cannot do. Okay, what exactly the assessment, effective assessment should do. Yeah, almost I got 7 answers. Only 7, but 11 people are there. Okay, fine. Most of you are correct. It is not to trick the student. It is not to just to provide the result or opportunity to celebrate. No, I have to understand where exactly I can and I cannot. Okay, so that what effective assessment should be. Fine. So now the 6th question is summative assessment. That is assessment of learning. This quantitative implemented at the end of the post study are used at the beginning of the lesson, or it's always work of 60%. I think most of you learning. Yeah, no answer to that question. Yes. Yeah, wonderful. 13 answer I got. So everyone except one, everyone gave a correct answer. End of the study. Okay, fine. Yes. So next question. Direct assessment. We have discussed about the two types of assessment. One is direct assessment, the other one is indirect assessment. So what exactly direct is? Whether it's describe or demonstrate or change or modify. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Actually, this it's a demonstrate. It is a demonstrate. Very nice, very nice. Describing is experience. Demonstrating is show the content. Very nice, very nice, very nice. I have not exactly used the word. Very fine. So eighth question: true or false? Whether assessment help the teacher or not? Assessment help the teacher or not? Fine, all are say true. Okay, assessment helping the teacher. It's not only helping the student. Very nice, very nice. Next one. Next one. Yeah, the last question. Learning instruction assessment need to be aligned or not? Learning instruction need to be aligned or not? Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Actually, I know another session is going on that time. Fine. So here, fine. That the next last question is whether you have used any online tool for your assessment. Whether you have used any online tool for your assessment. Okay. So that you can mention whether you have used any online tool for your assessment. Can you, type your answer. Whether you have used any online tool for your classroom assessment. Okay, so I request you type. I request you to type. I request you to type. 9 people answered. I see any online tool, whether you have used any online tool. Okay, almost I request you to type the answers. Let me show the answers. 10 people answered. Fine. Good. Only 2 more seconds. Fine. Okay, let me see that one. What exactly? So show answers. Actually, most of you are using the Google Survey Monkey, Google Classroom. So most of you have used the Google, tool only. But there are n number of tools are there. For assessment. Maybe I will share the list to the coordinator so that you can get the thing. Actually, the third question is Pumani. Then second question is Mehabub Madam. The first question is who is the first? Kartika Madam. Okay, fine. So the 3, congratulations to the 3 people. Then actually CK and Abhi, both of them in the 4th and 5th position. Wonderful. Actually, thing is, that activity based learning, actually how I am going to bring the activity into my class and how really the activity playing a major role. Yes, thank you. Congratulations to all 5 people, for participating and very nicely you have answered for all the questions. Fine. So thing is how the learning engagement and how the direct assessment, describe the learning, how you are, demonstrate the learning. These are all the things playing a major role in the assessment. Okay. So when you go for the assessment plan is nothing but whenever you are going to prepare the question paper. Okay. So what exactly the question paper is? So before going to the question paper, you must prepare the learning outcome at the micro level. Learning outcome at the micro level. So once you prepare the learning outcome at the micro level, right? That the outcome is like a question bank. That the outcome is a question bank. Okay. So you need not to again have a question bank at your end. You can have a what is called a question bank from the learning outcome. Then you can have a method. For example, assume that this is the question. What is the question? If you write a question in your notebook, then you can find that the question is there are 2 components. One is ability expected, then on the content. Suppose define Ohm's law, then write the difference between, then apply or evaluate or solve. So these are all the ability. Then solve or write an algorithm. Okay, solve a problem. So that's the problem. What the problem? That is nothing but that is the content. So always a question is there are 2 components. Ability expected on what content. Then again, if you take any outcome, again this is nothing but ability expected on the content. So the learning outcome as well as the question both are same. But almost when you wanted to narrow down, then likely you have to change the learning outcome. Then you can set it as a question. So that first you have to prepare the learning outcome. So once you prepare the learning outcome, then for which learning outcome, which kind of assessment I have to go. So this is the assessment plan. So based on that, I have to prepare the question paper. Then only the exact ability can be achieved. Sometimes what happened, we are setting the question very generic. Then it will reveal some output, but that output does not differentiate the student ability. See, suppose I wanted to make the student do how the students are thinking. Okay, their creativity. I want to check the creativity. Then I have to put the question. That question is having multiple answers. Then only the students, how they are thinking. Okay, how many of them coming with one kind of answer, another group of how they are coming with another kind. That kind of output you wanted to know. So thinking ability you wanted to check. So your question paper, whenever you are asking the question or conducting internal assessment, your question should target to a single ability. Maybe in the internal assessment 1 and 2 or summative assessment where you can have a common, you have all the ability. But whenever you are conducting a classroom assessment, homework assignment, all the things, you have to target on a single ability. Then only you can guide the student where exactly they are, they are good and where exactly they have to improve. So you have to specifically take one assessment method and what is the learning outcome for the specific assessment method. Then another outcome, these are the 3 outcomes, then this assessment method I am using. So identifying the assessment method and what is the outcome I can achieve so that you can get the proper output or proper achievement score of an individual, achievement score of the individual. Actually, it will go, in detail what are the different kind of items, but considering the time, because once you are going for assessment method, and each assessment method you have to set a different type of questions. So which type of question you wanted to set, it will go keep on. But let me, stop here. What are all the different, how you can select the assessment method and how you have to make use of the examination reforms component by setting the question paper. And you can understand that how the connectivity of what is called a competency with the performance indicators. So if you go to the document, then you will get the idea how exactly they have explained, and there are sample questions also they have given. But don't go with the what is called exactly with the single dimension. You can go with the two-dimensional mapping, and you can get the how exactly the examination will look into. The question paper will bring the true score of the student, and also the qualitative assessment they have explained about the rubrics, and the rubric will be a very good scoring instrument for assessing the performance of an individual. So with this, I will conclude the session. Maybe if you have any question, I can answer for the question, because keep on I am talking what one end. It's a very simple concept. Only how my art of the class that will be play the role as a teacher when you are going to the class with your students. Okay, I congratulate all the people, Abhiravi Madam, Balaji sir, Mehboob, Kartika, because they are all participating and wonderfully making the session is very nice. So with this, I will conclude. I will stop sharing. Maybe if you have any doubt, I can, because morning I had one different kind of a session where I just I rushed through with the penetration testing. The second session I keep on talking, then I am not doing some demo. Okay, so hope both sessions are useful to you, and you can practice. Maybe the content session you can practice. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will clarify the doubt. Okay, I will clarify the doubt. Yeah, it is easy. It is easy for us to mapping the questions with the Bloom's taxonomy. Actually, you see here. Maybe I will share the screen. Actually, one part, Balaji sir is asking the question how we can map the questions with the Bloom's taxonomy. Yeah, this is what the mapping. Actually, you have to see what is the ability you wanted to set for the whole question paper. For a particular concept, how much ability you are setting. Then for each unit, how much you are representing. But Anna University is having the same level, 20, 20, 20, 20 for each unit. Then you have to put in the score in this one. Then you put the question. So then this is a reference table. This reference table is a separate concept. Okay, if you follow this table, if you need the detail, I think you can go to swayam.gov.in, where question paper authoring is a MOOC. Okay, I will show you. Maybe if you're really interested, you can swayam.gov.in, where you can see that one. Okay. NITTTR. There are different courses are there. If you wanted to learn about learning management system, LMS, then you can enroll this course. Okay, if you enroll this course, then you can have a LMS, how Moodle LMS can be used. And also some sample LMS also I have given. Actually, the Namio LMS also I have given. If you wanted to have, please enroll this course, join this course, and you can have a LMS. And if you wanted to have, the detail of the, you ask the question, that is how mapping. There's a session on question paper authoring. Yeah, student assessment. Okay, so this course, myself, Dr. Dinesh Kumar, and Dr. Janardhan, we three, taking the course. Okay, we three taking the course, and there the complete detail we explained to you. Okay, design of question paper, performance, everything, the whole examination reforms completely. You can get the detail in this. Okay, you can enroll this course. It is available in the swayam.gov.in. So if you go to Knitter alone, okay, Knitter teacher education, where you get the details. Okay, so with this I will conclude participant. I can conclude maybe lunchtime also nearing. So stop sharing. Yes, coordinator sir. Yes sir. The coordinator side, can I? Is there in the
Yes, sir. So thank you so much for this wonderful session, sir. It was very informative, and moreover, it was very interactive. We don't know how these two sessions have gone, so it was very interesting, and I don't know how the time has flied over. I think the same thing this participants would have experienced, because in the chat box they were very lively, and they were answering to all the questions whichever you asked. So you made it, sir. You made this day and the session a very interactive and effective one. So thank you so much for your for sharing your valuable time with us too, sir. So thank you so much, sir.